First, want to say thank you to the App family for showing up in Atlanta on Saturday. Our crowd was outstanding. They did a great job of providing us energy and staying with us throughout the course of that game. And it's always great to look up on that side and see all the black and gold. And so appreciate them for being there for us. Obviously, it was a good win. Excited about the way our team came back from the 21-7 deficit, scored 49 unanswered points. I've never been a part of that in my career coaching, and it was a great testament to our senior class, to the leaders on our team, to the resolve of those guys to keep fighting. Speaking of our senior class, this is Senior Week, where we honor our seniors. Extremely proud of this group of men. To deal with the change that they've dealt with, not only from helping this university transition from 1AA to a FBS program, but also to deal with the coaching change. These guys are to be recommended. Not only are they great football players and have been a championship level players, they've also done an excellent job in the classroom, and very proud of them. Obviously, we've got some fifth-year seniors: Keem Davis, Des Franklin, Vic Johnson, Josh Thomas, Noel Cook. Those guys have been here. For those guys, they're 50-12 going into this Texas State game, 34-5 in the Sun Belt, 25-4 record going into this game at home. 4 straight bowl wins, 3 straight conference championships. Part of the first Sun Belt team to beat 2 Power 5 teams in a single season. First team to be ranked in the college football playoff. So that's a tribute to those guys, and our football team and our coaching staff is very excited to help send them out the right way, and that's what our focus is this week. We've got a very good Texas State team. Coach Spavital is instilling his culture. He's been in a lot of very tight games. Obviously, they beat Georgia State in overtime and have played some really tight ball games lately. So we're going to have our hands full. They've got a unique scheme on the defensive side of the ball. They play a 3-3 stack with a rover in the middle of the field, similar to what Iowa State plays. So that's something that we have not seen yet. We've got to do a good job adjusting and figuring out a way to attack it. Offensively, their offensive coordinator is Bob Stitt, a very innovative offensive guy. Coach Spav's background is on offense. So we're going to have our hands full making sure that we come out with the right focus in order to play. As far as the injury report goes, we anticipate getting Elijah Dearsuba back, and so that'll be a big lift for us on the defensive side. There was no significant injuries in the game, and I know there's a lot of people worried. I did have an injury during the game. In the third quarter, I got run over by Noah, and I got a laceration on the back of my ear. It required 12 stitches. I'm fine now, and all is well. But I know that there was some inquiring minds, so that was what the big patch on the back of my ear was. But for the record, I did finish the game. They did not do a concussion test, and I was proud of the toughness that I displayed in that moment. So with that, I'll open up questions.
Coach, on Saturday, Darrington Evans went over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. That's the 8th straight year that App has had a 1,000-yard rusher. Interestingly enough, in a tie to you, the one team that's had that more is Boise at 10 straight years. So somewhere you've been, somewhere you are now. What kind of consistency and commitment to running excellence does it take to have that kind of string of 1,000-yard rushers?
Well, I think there's a lot of different factors involved with that. One, you got to recruit great players. 2, you have to have a commitment to developing. It usually begins in the weight room, developing an offensive line. And so I know both programs are committed to developing their guys, committed to the weight room, and then committed to excellence. Running the football is a championship standard. You have to run the football to win championships. Andrew was looking it up. I think this is the 5th or 6th straight year as an offensive coordinator or an offense directed by me that I've had a 1,000-yard rusher. So it's kind of what you believe in too, and so I think that's just a part of it.
You mentioned the Texas State defense, a little bit of an unusual alignment they use. Mm-hmm. What is it that they're really trying to take away, or what are they emphasizing by running the 3-3 stack?
Well, it's a gap sound defense that allows their extra fitter to be a middle field safety and allows them to have different various forms of pressure. normally when you're talking to your quarterback about identifying coverages, you're identifying it based off the weak safety rotation. Now there's not necessarily a weak safety rotation because there's a middle field safety. And so he's able to fit down in the box as an extra run fitter or be a middle field closed guy too. So it's a unique scheme. It's predominant in the Big 12 because of all the spread offenses. But it provides a unique challenge with us being multiple about how do you want to attack it. Do you want to be in 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 10 personnel?
One quick question about your ear injury.
Yeah.
Is the Noah Hannon story really the truth? I have a theory that maybe rather than hear the Georgia State train whistle anymore, you tried to tear your own ear off. Would you care to comment on that?
That is the loudest whistle in the Sun Belt. There's definitely no doubt about that. We ran speed option to the right. I was squatted down, and I was watching Zach, and he got tackled. So I was kind of making sure he was okay. And out of my peripheral, Noah Hannon was blocking a line, a Georgia State defender. Now, I'm going to punish Noah because it was clearly blocking after the whistle. All right, and so he got a piece of me, and vividly. He looked and saw that it was me that he ran over, and he turned and ran right back. Didn't even offer to help me up. I think he knew. He was like, oh, crap, I'm going to be in trouble. But no, I'm just kidding. Noah's a great kid. He plays hard. It's the type of effort we want. It was just part of the game.
Yeah, you mentioned the senior class, and specifically with the fifth-year seniors that have had so much involvement in the success of this program. When you inherit a senior class like that, from the time you've taken the job on, what kind of responsibilities fall on your shoulders just as far as helping this senior class go out the right way, like you were just mentioning?
I think it's twofold. I think we both had a responsibility to embrace the change, and I think we've documented this several times: preference versus performance. It was not about what each one of our preferences was. It was about what's going to help us perform to the highest level we're capable of performing. And so, as a coaching staff, we lowered our egos and said, "Okay, this is what they've done in the past. It's really good. This is areas that we think we could really help this program take another step, or help this group's performance take it to another level." And whenever you challenge somebody or offer to make change, they have to either say, "Yes, I'm going to do that," or wait to buy in. And a credit to them, they didn't wait. They said, "We're in, Coach. Whatever you say we're going to do, we're going to do." And it's resulted in success. And so I appreciate that. And I think they appreciate it. But the responsibility goes to both sides.
So I was talking to those five redshirt seniors about their senior talk specifically during fall camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at that point in time, you've had the job for a good while.
Yeah.
But what do you think those senior talks kind of let you learn about those guys as fall camp went on and they each kind of got up and told their stories?
I think everybody's story is unique, and whenever you're able to share your story with the rest of the team, they get ownership and understanding of what you've sacrificed in order to achieve what you've achieved, but also what that chip is on your shoulder to cause you to keep moving forward. And I think it just brings a collective unity to the group. Like, okay, I understand what his sacrifice is and how much he's invested in this program, so I'm not going to let my brother down. I'm going to give everything I got to make sure that these guys get what they've earned, and you kind of match their intensity, I guess, or match their care. And I think whenever you see seniors get up, and it's always emotional, and whenever you see them do that, you realize how much they've invested in the program. And as a coach, I think the responsibility and enormity of the task at hand, like I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I don't let these guys down.
And last one for me, Willie Edwards gets in against Georgia State, and
yeah.
He posted on social media just about how meaningful it was to finally get that first snap and just kind of the struggles he's had throughout his career. How do you help a guy navigate that, especially a guy like him that's expected to come in and play and make an impact, and he just doesn't get the chance to do it right away?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it to our team several times, but obviously need to say it to the media too. Extremely proud of Keyshawn Watson, Willie Edwards, and Joey Cave. I mean, three guys that came in with, visions of grandeur and wanting to come and be a key cog in the wheel. And that's not always how life works out. It doesn't always work out the way we dream for it to work out. But those guys have been nothing but team players, team first, however they can help us be successful. Willie unfortunately had a injury in fall camp. There's nothing you can do about it. And he has worked every single day to try to provide some sort of contribution to our team. And, you just encourage guys that it's it's bigger than just playing and contributing on the field. You're a part of a brotherhood. You're a part of a team. And our team success is more important than individual accolades. And I think Joey's a great example of that. He does a great job on punt team as our personal protector and on field goal. Keyshawn Watson's a guy that we plug in a lot of different areas and had a big third down conversion catch for us. So those guys have been really good, and I'm very proud and excited that we brought them into the app family, and they've been great representations for us.
You just kind of talk a little bit about Shaun Jolly. He just seems to be one of your ball hawks on defense. Does he do that a lot in practice? A long time ago, a guy named Corey Lynch would block field goals in practice and would get on the kicker's nerves.
Yeah.
So I wonder, does he sometimes get on the quarterback's nerves? Does he intercept stuff? Does he?
Well, I think Shaun has definitely developed and taken his game to the next level. I mean, anytime you've got 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns and a block punt, multiple PBUs, you're playing at a high level. Credit to Coach Harbison and his development. I mean, obviously going into the season, we were extremely worried about the corner position. And against the UNC Charlotte game, I mean, we had several long touchdowns thrown over our heads. And we didn't hang our heads. We didn't back off. We just said, we're going to work to get better. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to fix it. And he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And I think anytime you're a defensive back, you have to play with confidence. And he's got that. So it's really a credit to him. He doesn't get on our nerves. I mean, we don't worry about that. I'm just kidding. We like to talk trash. The quarterbacks and wideouts like to talk trash to DBs, and DBs like to talk trash to the. So that's why it doesn't get on our nerves.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Kind of touched on it already. Just anything specific to look out for, especially with the Texas State passing game, since we got Jolly on the mind now?
Well, I think they're very dynamic in what they do. They're multiple in the routes and the ways that they try to attack your coverage schemes. They have motions and different ways to try to get you to rotate your coverage and then attack a seam area. So we've got to do a nice job with our adjustments. We've got to do typical defense. You got to do a great job of understanding what our plan is, how they're going to attack our plan, and make sure we have great eye discipline in what we do. We got to affect the quarterback. Our front has got to affect the quarterback without having to add extra rushers. And when we do add extra rushers, we have to get there. We got to clean up our blitz patterns. They are not as crisp as we want them to be right now. And we need to clean those up so that we can be more effective when we blitz to get to the passer. So those are some areas that we need to improve this week. Offensively, we got to improve our perimeter blocking. It's not nearly where it needs to be. We're not sustaining blocks on the perimeter the way we need to in order to be effective attacking the perimeter. So for us, those are 2 areas that we need to improve this week in order to play our best against Texas State. Too much time for – oh, Ethan's coming back for more.
I just want to ask you, how do you think Zach running the ball kind of affects his overall confidence in a game? Because it seemed like against Georgia State, there were moments where he was able to kind of get loose and then things really settled in. I mean, that kind of happened for a number of reasons, but it does feel like his confidence sometimes kind of builds off of making plays.
I think any time as a player you make a play, your confidence increases in the game. So whether that's you step up and make a big throw, or it's you're not throwing the ball as well as you want to throw it, but you're able to affect the offense in a positive way by gaining yards with your feet, it allows you to be confident that you're playing the way you're supposed to help your football team and help your teammates. And I think that's probably what happened. I was extremely proud of Zach. His mindset when we threw that interception, he came right off the sideline, told everybody, hey, that's me. We're going to get it back. And the next drive, he stepped up, made a big-time throw on an in cut with pressure, and and then handled tempo well and threw the out to Corey. So his mindset is always, I mean, I think his best attribute is his competitive nature. I don't necessarily think it has to be him running the football that gets him going. I think it's just when he positively affects the game.
I guess I might ask one of those can you recall questions are always hard in real time, but between Corey's catch that bounces off 5 different things and Darrington staying on his feet to not let his knee or his elbow touch the ground, do you have any memories of plays like that have stood out, especially multiple ones in the same game?
I've never seen multiple. The closest thing I've ever seen to Darrington was in the national championship game. Michael Dyer was called not down against Oregon that ended up leading to field goal to win the game. But that's the closest I've seen to that. Both just 2 incredible plays, that great concentration, and glad they went in our favor.